Our first plant today on this beautiful afternoon is not even at the clearing. We're cheating. We're across Garrett Bay Road at the little Fitzgerald Park, town park. This is Horsetail. We don't have any on the clearing property, but right across the street. And this isn't, it's not something that's in bloom right now or even in fall color, just an interesting plant that many people don't know, called horsetail or scouring rush. It's an ancient plant, evolved millions of years ago, way before plants even had leaves. All of its chlorophyll is in its stem. That's what produces all of its food, so no leaves. And it's got these jointed stems that almost pull apart like Tinker Toys. They're hollow, and it's called scouring rush because in the old days, pioneer days, people would gather a bunch of these stems together in a bundle and tie it in a bundle, and they would use this to scour pots because it has a lot of silica in it, and it's rough enough that it can clean pots. Scouring rush. Often grows in patches. This is just a small patch here, but it can often grow in patches many square feet around. But just, really fascinating plant, horsetail or scouring rush. We're down at the forge at the clearing looking at little Bluestem in its fall and winter color. Also has these beautiful feathery seed heads that will stay all winter, but it turns this nice color. It's kind of purplish red brown color, and it'll be nice all winter long. This is taller than I usually see it. This is maybe even 4 feet tall, often just 2-3 feet tall. But again, once it turns this color late in the fall, it'll maintain this right through winter. It's a native in Door County, not common. There's a lot of it up on Jackson Harbor in Washington Island, and there's quite a few of it on the roadside south of Fish Creek, probably other places too. We transplanted this patch here, I think 3 falls ago, when we filled in the parking lot at the Jensen Center. And these plants Eric had planted back in the late 90s, and they were too good to just bury, so our fall work week crew dug them up and stuck them in here, and they're doing great. Little Bluestem. We're at the Homestead Meadow at the clearing looking at common juniper. And it is common in Door County. It may be the most common shrub in Door County. One of 3 junipers that you can find in Door County. Common juniper, the horizontal or creeping juniper, which is very low to the ground, and then eastern red cedar, which you'll see further south in the county, and that's a tree. But this is a really common one. And here, this particular plant still hasn't changed to its winter color yet, but if you look over here, you'll see that it's gone to its purplish brown color. And so it'll go off color in the winter to that purplish brown, just its winter color. Many people really despise this plant for several reasons. They don't like the off color in the winter. It can be aggressive and just fill in an area like it has here in part of the Homestead Meadow. It's prickly when you work with it, and if you, like me, especially in humid weather, you get a little bit of a rash. But I'm one of those strange people that think it's the most valuable plant in Door County. If you agree that you want Door County to become more forested, as it is trying to do as more and more farm fields and pastures are let fallow, this is one of the plants that comes in fairly early and fills in, and it's the classic nurse plant. Trees and shrubs will grow up in it, and it protects those growing trees in particular from deer damage and other kind of animal damage. So it's a classic nurse plant. It's also interesting in that it is separate male and female plants. So your word for the day is dioecious, which in Latin means two house, separate male and female plants. This is a female with the little juniper berries. People call these berries, and they'll eventually turn this color after a couple of years. I think they're on for 2 years, kind of a dark blue. It's actually a cone botanically, but it looks like a berry, so they call them juniper berries. When you buy juniper berries in the spice cabinet in the grocery store, this is the species you're buying. And birds love to eat these, especially cedar waxwings love juniper berries. So a lot of interest. Again, a lot of people don't like it because it's prickly and off color and aggressive, but it is a very valuable plant as Door County starts to reforest again. Common juniper. This is white spruce, not a lot of it at the clearing, a lot more of it on the other side of the peninsula, but there are a few here. And it looks a lot like balsam fir if you look at the two side by side, but spruce have, you can't see it, but you can feel it, the square needles, and if you roll it, you can roll it in your finger, you can feel it, the ridges. You can't roll fir because they're flat. So spruce are square, firs are flat. And balsam fir smells like Christmas, that wonderful balsam odor. This doesn't smell quite as nice. Some people call white spruce skunk spruce because of that. And like the firs and hemlocks and junipers, you can see it down in here a little bit, it'll drop a few of its oldest needles all year long. It won't drop them all of a sudden like arborvitae and pines, just a little bit every day. And I just happened to pick up a cone, and this is a white spruce cone, 1.5 inches, maybe even up to 2 inches long, cute little cone. This one's dropped its seeds already. But this is white spruce. Again, looks a lot like balsam fir, but different needles, different smell, different kind of cone. Last plant for today is asparagus. A lot of people wouldn't recognize this as asparagus. They know it either in the grocery store or on their dinner plate as those 8-10 inch long spears that are harvested when it first comes out of the ground. This is what it turns into, this fine textured feathery top that turns yellow in the fall and will stay this color for months, often right through winter. Stem and the foliage. Again, very fine, feathery. Sometimes you'll see a little red berry on it. Something eats those because they disappear, and it gets planted all around. And you see one here and one there, here and there. It is not a native plant in Door County or even in this country, but it's not an invasive. It's not troublesome in any way. Interesting, and it adds some interest to the late fall and winter landscape. And then, if you know where this plant is, you can come back in May and harvest some of the spears. So this is asparagus.